Hello, me again from my Tesla Model 3. My moan for the day, might as well call them moans because I do a lot of moaning, is about hybrid cars really. They get big tax breaks and tax breaks as company cars. Now presumably if you're using their car as a company car, you'll be doing quite a lot of mileage. So you've got your hybrid because of the tax breaks, because of the low emissions. But the low emissions are only there if you plug the car in. If you do a lot of mileage every day, and your range is about 20 miles on pure electric, would you bother to plug it in? And if you don't plug it in, you're not getting the low emissions, which is giving you the tax breaks. It's just a niggle of mine that these cars have got these figures of incredible low emissions when it's actually not true. It depends on you plugging it in. It depends on you doing short journeys and plugging it in, because if you go on a long journey, you're no way you're going to plug it in en route, because they charge incredibly slowly. So it's a little niggle of mine that they get tax breaks, people are encouraged to get them, and people that use them as company vehicles do a lot of mileage but never bother to plug it in. They just so they get a tax break and still polluting. So it seems not really right. It's not ethically right. I mean, some people will be getting these hybrids, big 4x4s, some of them, and they use them just to pick up the children from school, do short journeys. Now they will be plugging them in, because if they're doing their 20 miles a day, they can actually no need for the petrol or engine at all. But in that case, you're thinking, well, why on the earth have they got a hybrid? They might as well have a proper electric car. And that's the way I look at it, because I'm in my Tesla, and a proper electric car is an electric car. Car manufacturers, fossil car manufacturers, a lot of them are saying we're going to go over to electric or hybrids totally in a few years' time. Honda are doing it in a few years. Well, of course they are, because but they won't be going for a proper electric cars. They'll be going towards hybrids, because they have their petrol diesel engines. They want to keep manufacturing those petrol and diesel engines. It's part of their whole thing. It's part of their industry, and they don't want to stop doing that. So it's almost like a technicality to keep the old fossil and diesel engines going. And another reason is, of course, unlike Tesla, they depend on servicing. They sell the car brand new, and they want you to take it there every year, take the car back in for servicing every year or every 2 years. A lot of cars are every year. Like my wife's got a Kia Soul electric, very nice. But to keep the warranty going, it needs to be serviced every year. And of course, the servicing on an electric car is, well, top up the windscreen washer bottle, I guess, and charge you £100. So that's the way it is. I mean, with Tesla, they've got a whole different arrangements. They don't want a shiny showroom. They just want you to buy a car online and pick it up. A shiny showrooms are paid for by fossil car companies when they sell a fossil car, because they want people to keep going back and having it serviced, and that's where their money comes from, to keep their shiny showroom. And it's a waste of money for the customer. But it's a hard thing. I've been 120 years of making fossil cars. It's a hard habit to break, and especially as it will break these big industries. They depend so much on the petrol and diesel engine, and they can't break away. And the high price of EVs, I wonder if it's inflated, because they don't want to leave their petrol. They don't want to leave that diesel. Because those parts on the car need servicing. Electric cars really don't need servicing. But petrol and diesel cars, they need servicing and repairing and everything that goes along with it, and all the spare parts. And with electric cars, it's a one-off deal. You buy it, and for the most part, that's it. You've paid your big money, and they are expensive, but you're done. That's your expenditure finished with, because they don't need oil and antifreeze and cam belts and exhaust pipes, even brakes. Electric cars really don't ever wear out their brakes. They are service free, and fossil car makers don't want service free cars. They want to keep servicing their fossils, so they're on a different system. Yeah, so that's the topic of the day really from me. Going back to the dreaded COVID stuff, which I ramble on about because it's such a tragedy. I just heard on the radio saying that the NHS is okay because they've got plenty of capacity. Well, I guess they have got plenty of capacity, but they've got capacity because they've closed down their other jobs. People who are being checked for cancer or checked for all sorts of illnesses, that's been put on back burner. Well, hospitals go over to COVID. And so the NHS hasn't got it has got capacity. It's the NHS are the COVID hospitals. Even going to your local practitioner, your local doctor is tough. They just want people to go online, really, but to see your doctor is difficult, and to see your dentist is difficult. Well, in fact, everything, going to the shops, going to schools, everything has been made difficult by this COVID. And of course, the government wants to get their money in, and so they're closing down things. But the things, of course, they're closing down are pleasurable things, where like meeting your family in a large number, meeting strangers. That's being closed down because there's no money in it. There's no money in it for the government, so we'll close that down. But of course, bits and pieces where there is money in it, they want those to stay open. There is a logic behind that, but it's a bit of a bitter pill to take, where your personal pleasure is being stopped, but the financial side of things are being promoted, even to the extent of don't work from home, go to work, even though you can work from home. And that's, well, what can you say? I mean, as it's the same all over the world. Population's huge, and are there enough jobs? Well, not really, no. So what are all countries doing? They're making up jobs. Let's make up a job. High Street, all the shops there. Do we need any of them? No. We can buy it all online, but encouraged to keep the high street open for artificial jobs, and that's where we're going. We make more clothes that are dirt cheap to make more artificial jobs. All the stuff we don't need. Well, we are persuaded we do need that. We do need that football shirt, even though we can't go football. We do need that baseball cap, or we do need those trainers. We don't need any. We need some, but we don't need 20 pairs of trainers. But we're persuaded we do. We're persuaded that our whatever we earn should go on supporting companies, and to support very, very rich companies. Yeah. So here we are, we're in a society of Let's burn it all up. Let's burn up the resources, because that's the way to go. Let's all go to the high street. Let's drive our car. Let's drive our fossil car to the high street and get it serviced, and get it MOT'd and put it in the car park, and the car park attendant can put a ticket on it because we've gone over time, just to employ lots and lots of people artificially. And I guess there's companies are racking their brains. What artificial pleasure can we think of to employ people in these futile, useless jobs, just to keep people employed because the population is so big? Yeah, well, that's the way it goes, I suppose. We're all running around in circles. Maybe, I think I said before, maybe there should be minimum wage, and then people don't go to work. And if they want to earn more, they go to work, they earn more. Or perhaps a simpler way, because that's a bit dramatic. A simpler way would be just to have a 4-day week, 3-day week, 2-day week, but not pay people like an hourly rate at that, because of course people haven't got money. They just people have to be paid for shorter weeks, and just to keep the number of people employed, because there's just too many. We're bringing technology to do the jobs, and so we've got more surplus people searching for a job, more artificial jobs we've got around. The artificial intelligence that are making the products are actually putting people out of work, so they're making products to keep people in work, so people can buy really, really cheap bits of crap which they don't need. But that's what keeps the wheels going round. And it's, well, that's the way it is. Wheels keep going round. Anyway, so that's my gripe for today. I've probably done I've gone over time again. I just ramble on. Nobody looks at my videos anyway, but I just ramble on. And so I'll be off now. And you take care of yourself. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.